All right, starting with the final part 4 of the 2022 National Vintage PSA submission. I've been real happy with the results so far, really consistent with what I was projecting on my grades. And if you've been watching part 3, real happy with the surprises in that and on some of the grades. So what's remaining, I see some Schmidt rookies still on my list. Some vintage football, and of course just more vintage baseball. Oh, and some 61 Fleer basketball that I was really excited to get back. So let's see how we do here. First up is a 73 O-Pee-Chee Steve Carlton. If I remember correctly, this one had nice centering. This was one of the ones that I picked up on a lot from a dealer at the Philly show who had been to the hockey show in Canada and dealt primarily in hockey, but he came back with a handful of O-Pee-Chee baseball. This one I was projecting an 8 or a 9, so this one really looked nice to me. Nice centering, and I had underlined the 9. For me to do that, I mean, that's I usually go conservative on these, so 8 or a 9, came back an 8. Okay, yeah. Beautiful card, but with some toning. Looking at it now under these lights, some toning there, but just sharp corners. I think the corners are what sold me on it, maybe getting a 9, but no way to complain on this submission with what I'm getting so far. So an 8 on the 73 O-Pee-Chee Carlton. My first crack out of the submission. This was one that was I picked up on eBay, and it was in an HGA holder, which I must say, up to this submission, the holder itself was really impressive. It was crystal clear, nice holder, and this one, if I remember correctly, was a 6, and so I cracked it out. I just wanted it in a PSA holder. My set, for the stars, I like to have PSA graded, and I'm happy with whatever grade it comes back because it's staying in my set. So I projected a 6 again. It looked nice to me. And from what I've seen on other videos on YouTube, HGA seems to be fairly consistent with, as consistent as anyone else can be when it's switched to PSA. So 6 is what I was projecting. 7. Look at that. It's just the centering. Again, it's tough. This card is tough to find centered. Couldn't be happier. The price I paid, because it was in an HGA holder, was fantastic. It was a steal in my opinion. And looking at the card and the corners, that's a huge win. Huge win. Just a beautiful card. Next up was a House of Cards pickup, 1976 Ryan. They had just had picked up a collection and had a stack of cards behind the counter, and the owner, or the Brian working there that day, said, "Hey, I see you're picking up some 70s baseball. We just picked up these if you want to see them." And this card was in the stack. Nice centering, nice corners, and thought might have grading potential. So 76 Ryan. Let me see what I had projected. Sorry here, trying to find these on my list. Okay, so I was projecting a 7 or an 8. Well, pretty generous. I'm thinking an 8. I don't usually, again, go that high. So 7 or 8, and it came back an 8. Wow. Yeah, there's another one. Just again, the centering, solid. Yeah, that's got to be a bigger card. Definitely worth what I paid for it. I'll tell you that. I got a great deal on it. So thank you, Brian at House of Cards. All right, next up is a card that took years to find centered. this is a really tough card to find without tilt, to find centered. And I picked it up a long time ago, and it just sat in a shoebox. And when I was, like everyone else, during COVID shutdown, I had time to go through some old shoeboxes, saw it again, and said, you know what, I'll definitely worth thinking about submitting this one. So Tony Gwynn rookie, I had marked a 7 just because of Peachy, they can be tough on. But it's a centered one, and given that I've been getting bumps on this submission for centering and eye appeal, now I'm thinking I should have put 8 on it. So projecting a 7, Gwynn O-Pee-Chee rookie centered, came back a, whoa, that is a big card. Wow. Wow. And people who know me know I like O-Pee-Chee, and that's a monster for O-Pee-Chee. That's, yeah. Wow. All right. Next up is the other 69 Clemente. So this was the one that I picked up at the antique store in Frederick, Maryland. The other one was one I picked up at the Philly show that came back a 5, and it had a ding corner, but had everything else going for it, and they gave me the 5 on that one. So this one I was projecting a 5 or a 6. And it came back a 7. Fantastic. Real happy with that. Centering on that. If centering had been better, maybe it gets the nod. It does have a little bit of a stain on the bat. I think when I was filling out the form, I didn't know how they'd view that without. They don't do qualifiers anymore, so looks like they gave me a little leniency on that one. Real happy, real happy. All right, next up, 1960 Frank Robinson. Let's see where I am on the form here. Yeah, I was looking at a 5 or a 6 on this one. I know it had nice centering, and I remember this card. The color was really deep and bold and nice focus. So really nice eye appeal on a 60 Topps card. Projecting a 5 or a 6, and it came back a 4. Ooh, that's all right. 4. I see something now. Yeah. Well. Wow. Still just a beautiful card. Part of my set, not going anywhere. Beautiful. Well, I think it's nicer than a 4. I thought I saw something on the front, but no, I don't upon further inspection. I don't know what it could be, but I have no room to complain on this submission, so 4 it is. All right, the next 2 I'm excited about. Love 61 Fleer basketball. Well, here's one of them. It's the Tommy Heinsohn card, and this one I picked up at the Strongsville show in this past year, 2022. I think it was the last purchase I made on the way out the door. And if you haven't been to the Strongsville show in Ohio, it's a vintage show, and just a lot of great dealers from that area and from across the country. They come in for it. So this again, really tough set to find centered. And in going through this dealer's stack of 61 Fleer, saw this one and just no brainer. Did pay a premium on it. That's fine. Just I knew I would grade it, and I had full confidence that it would do well. So I projected a 7. Given that I've, the bump again on this submission so far on the other things that I've submitted because of the centering, let's see if they kick it up even higher. But I was projecting a 7. Tommy Heinsohn. 7. Boom. Just consistent. Just great centering on that card. Great color, great focus. It's when you're at a show and you see a card and it's done. You see it and boom, got to get it. So that was definitely one of them. Okay, next up is a Rice rookie. Trying to think where I picked this one up. This may have been out of a set. It was out of a set that I picked up from a card shop in Pennsylvania, Media. Another one of my favorite card shops. Not the biggest selection, but just an old-time card shop in Media Sports, Ski and Sport. Half the shop is ski equipment in the winter, and then cards on the other side. And just nice owner. Just a great card shop I like to go to every time I go up to Philly, and stick my head in and see what they have, and been buying them for quite a few years. So they had an 86 football set in that was really nice. I plucked this one out. Given that it's 86 tops, green borders, I knew they were going to be tough. I was projecting a 5 or a 6 on this one, and it came back a, whoa! Whoa! Wow. Unbelievable. This is easily my greatest, best submission ever, just with what I'm getting back versus what I was projecting. That'll be another one to look up. I don't have a good sense of what those go for. This one is another one that, again, when I picked this up at the Chantilly show some years ago, and again, saw it, had to have it. I have the set, and I needed it for my set. I had picked up a set from a local collector, really nice condition, but I was trying to just improve it for centering. And so I wanted to improve it with this card, and it was a centered one. It looked really nice. So I had confidence it would grade well. I'm projecting on the 68 Bart Star, which is the #1 card in the set. So usually is one card that gets a lot of wear. I still projected a 7 on this. So projecting a 7 on the #1 68 Bart Star, and got an 8. Wow. Wow. What I'm thinking here is with grading getting backed up for so long, a lot of these cards I picked up over the last, 4 or 5 years, with the exception of that O-Pee-Chee Gwynn. And this could be the result of that, just by having a keen eye at the shows, that stuff that dealers might have submitted themselves in the past, but they didn't want to have the hassle or the wait to get them back. And so there was a real opportunity there to pick up some raw stuff at shows before it got sent to grading by the dealer. All right, next up is a 74 Wilt Chamberlain Topps card. I believe it's Wilt's last card, and picked this one up at the 2021 National. It was a beauty. I remember it was an old-time dealer, and we worked out a price, a great price. I was pleased with it. This was really nice. I was projecting a 7 or an 8 on the Wilt. Came back an 8. How about that? How about that? Remember, I got this raw along with a graded 60, the 70 glossy Namath, which he had graded. It was a 6, I remember, and I got that together with that card. He should have graded that one, huh? Next up, 78 Payton. Just again, as a kid growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, Walter Payton was the man. So I like this card, and yeah, I remember this. This was a deal. I remember I got it at the Philly show, and it would just $5 or something. Just really, it looked nice to me. So this, I was projecting a 7 or an 8. 78s are tough. I purchased a lot in an auction before and submitted them and didn't do very well, so not really expecting a high grade on this. So I was projecting a 7 or an 8 and got an 8. And the sweetness card. Fantastic. Okay, this is the card of the submission for me, the one that I was most excited about, just because of all the Hall of Famers on this card. It was a crack out from SGC. Look at that. It is centered, I know that, so I was projecting a 6, and this is, I think, a big card in a 6. Fingers crossed. Yeah. 6. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, I love the 61. So, yeah, on this card, you have Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson, Tommy Heinsohn, and Sam Jones. Just, yeah, 4 Hall of Famers on one card. I know that the Kobe LeBron card had been popular, the Topps Chrome one, but how about 4 Hall of Famers on there? So just a really nice card. Really happy with that. I figured that was going to be one of the upcharge cards. Yeah, that kind of centering for 61. That's exceptional centering for a 61. So tough set, and just a beautiful surface color. Nothing going on in the green section, green block. So real nice. Next up is a Terry Bradshaw rookie from, again, Coworkers collection. This one had wear on the corners. So I wasn't expecting, I was expecting a 4 on this. And I don't remember it having great centering, but let's see what it did. I was projecting a 4. 5. Nice. Nice. Terry Bradshaw. Okay, coming down to the end. 6 cards left, and I think we're going to get into the rest of the Schmidt rookies now. So let's take a look. So on the Schmidt rookies, I had a projected 3, 4, 4, 5, and a 6. So 5 Schmidt rookies, and the first one was a 4, so we hit the mark on that one. Schmidt rookie number 2 is another 4. Trying to look at this one to see which one. Yeah, it's got a soft top right corner, so that's, you know what, given that corner, I don't know if you can see it on the surface, but I think that's I'm happy with that grade. That might have been the one that I thought was a 3. Next Schmidt rookie. So what do we have left? 4, 5, and 6. 5.5. 5.5. I'll assume that was the 6, because I don't think any of these really stood out to me as being exceptional. Yep, nice. That one was from a complete set that I picked up. It had nice cards in it consistently. Next Schmidt And so now we're down to a 4 or a 5. 6. Well, this must be the one that, no, I can tell by the corners. This is not one that I thought would be a 6. Wow. I'll take that. Yeah, that corner and that corner. Not 6, but I'll take it. You know, I call them like it is, so that's exceptional. That's a great grade. I think that's probably the one I had as a 5. So just, it's got everything. It's decent, even centering left to right. But yep, we'll take it. That's fantastic. Well, it looks like one of them didn't grade. There was a cardboard insert in here with some cards in it, so that looks like there's one of them that didn't grade. So, well, I know which dealer I picked it up from, so it's interesting. Okay, next up is, okay, this is another one from the Afraid show. And I don't usually do hockey, but this card, as I was going through cards, had beautiful centering, and it was one that I said to myself, this is something that probably should be submitted. 83 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky, the base card. And on this one, what was I projecting on this? Sorry, here. On this one, a 7 or an 8. So because of the centering, I thought it had a chance at an 8. The corners, so 7 or an 8, and it came back a 5. Ooh. Miss. First big miss. What am I missing here? You know what? There's an impression in the card there. 2 lines, an impression. Interesting. And that's under really bright lights. I'm looking now. And again, no complaining on this submission, and definitely wasn't into a lot on this card. It was a great price that I picked it up raw. Even still did well even as a 5, so that's great. Okay, next up is a 76 Thurman Munson. These are tough to find centered. Again, this was one of the ones from the Coworkers collection. It was nice. It must have been centered nicely. I was protecting a 7 or an 8 on this card. Came back at, whoa! Whoa! Wow, that is a monster card. Actually, I don't know that this came from his collection. This may have been, I'm thinking now, a different collection. His went through 75, so I'll have to check my notes and see where I picked this up. Again, that's got to be a bigger card. I don't know what this goes for, but there's certainly Munson collectors and Yankee collectors that would want that. Wow. Yeah, I bought, again, in that auction house where I bought the 78 Topps football, I bought quite a number of just vending quality 76 Topps baseball and submitted a lot of the stars and just didn't do well on them. So this is, you know, this is a baseball card outlet card. It is. I remember getting it now. So this is another win. Again, check out Baseball Card Outlet in Baltimore. Just great cards. They get buy collections and just move them at fair prices. Real happy with this. This was this was one of the cards I picked up from them. So check them out. And we're down to the last card. 66 Mantle. And whoops, let me see what I was projecting. Good thing I didn't see it. Let's see. I was projecting a 3 or a 4, so definitely somewhere on this card, but worth submitting a Mantle, and it came back a 4. Nice. Very nice. So very pleased overall. I'm looking at my spray charts here. Just right on the mark with what I was projecting. And yeah, just couldn't be happier with the surprises, the bump ups. So hope you enjoyed the videos, and thank you very much.